All right, Eagles fans, strap in because this one's going deep. As we head into the 2025 season, the Philadelphia Eagles are entering a crucial turning point. This is still a team fresh off a Super Bowl victory, one that saw them take down the mighty Kansas City Chiefs and bring the Lombardi back to Philly. But championship windows don't stay open forever, and as the new season approaches, changes are on the horizon. Some major shakeups are expected on both sides of the ball. And today we're diving into what that could mean for this roster and for the fans who are already dreaming of back-to-back glory. Let's start in the trenches, where games are won and lost. One of the most significant changes heading into the new season comes at right guard. Mekhi Becton, who was signed during the last free agency period as a backup tackle, ended up being one of the most surprising success stories of the year. When Tyler Steen went down with an ankle injury, head coach Nick Sirianni and offensive line coach Jeff Stoutland took a chance, slotting Becton into the guard spot, something he had never really done before. The move turned out to be a revelation. Becton, once labeled a first-round bust from his time with the Jets, came in and had a career year, anchoring that right side and revitalizing his career. His performance earned him a big payday with the Chargers, who handed him a contract worth over $10 million annually. Now, while some people might say the Eagles should have matched that price, the front office clearly wasn't comfortable committing that much. And honestly, when you look at the depth in the big picture financially, you can kind of see why. Still, it leaves a big hole. Tyler Steen is the most logical replacement, but he's still very much a work in progress. Drafted in the third round, he hasn't exactly wowed in limited playing time. He's shown flashes, good moments, especially filling in for Landon Dickerson in the NFC Championship, but the consistency just hasn't been there. He's allowed 0 sacks and 0 hits, which is definitely encouraging, but his overall grades in pass protection and run blocking haven't impressed. One thing he does have going for him is his athletic profile. Coming out of Alabama, Steen had one of the top relative athletic scores for offensive linemen. He was a tackle at both Alabama and Vanderbilt, and it's not uncommon for linemen to need some time to adjust when they switch positions in the NFL. He didn't play guard in college, so this transition is something he's still working through. The hope, of course, is that Jeff Stoutland can work his usual magic and bring out the best in him. That would be the ideal scenario. If Steen can take that next step and lock down the right guard spot, the Eagles could be set for another dominant year up front, but the competition doesn't end there. The Eagles also drafted Trevor Keegan out of Michigan, and while he brings a lot of raw talent, he's still untested at this level. Kenyon Green is another name in the mix, a former first-round pick who's frankly been one of the worst guards in football. He's been a liability on the left side, and it's hard to imagine him suddenly figuring things out on the right. And then there's a name that some Eagles fans will remember, Matt Pryor. Originally a late-round pick out of TCU, Pryor had bounced around the league but found some success last season with the Bears playing inside. His large frame and lack of elite foot speed make him a better fit at guard than tackle, and he could be a dark horse to win the job if he can stay consistent. So that's the one major change on the offensive side of the ball. Everywhere else, this offense is running it back. 10 of 11 starters from the Super Bowl are returning, which is almost unheard of in today's NFL. Continuity on offense can't be overstated. It matters. Chemistry, timing, knowing what the guy next to you is going to do without saying a word, that all adds up. And with Jalen Hurts still leading the charge, A.J. Brown and Devonta Smith out wide, Dallas Goedert at tight end, and a solid rotation in the backfield, there's every reason to believe this offense can be as dangerous as ever. Now, flipping over to defense, things get a lot more complicated. The Eagles will be without 2 key contributors off the edge, Josh Sweat and Brandon Graham. Sweat was arguably the best pass rusher on the team last year. He played with relentless effort, was a consistent force off the edge, and had a nose for getting into the backfield. Losing him to free agency stings, and while Brandon Graham had already transitioned into more of a rotational role, his leadership and presence in the locker room was still a big part of the team's identity. His injury in the Rams game on Sunday Night Football was a turning point. And though he returned for the Super Bowl, it's clear that era has come to a close. So what does the future look like at edge rusher? Well, there's a lot of young talent, and if it all clicks, the Eagles might not just be fine, they could be scary. Nolan Smith is at the center of that conversation. After recording just 1 sack as a rookie, he broke out in his second year with 6.5 sacks, then added another 4 in the playoffs. The guy is explosive, smart, and relentless. If he can stay healthy, year 3 could be the breakout. The Eagles have been waiting for. Then there's Jalen Hunt, who really turned it on late in the year. He flashed in the regular season, then took it up a notch in the postseason. He dominated in the Super Bowl and looks like he's ready to take on a bigger role. Add to that some new faces like Azeez Ojulari and Josh Uche, who were brought in to deepen the rotation. Both guys have had issues staying on the field, but when they're out there, they're productive. And don't forget about rookie Antoine Powell-Ryland. This kid was one of the most productive edge players in college football the past couple of seasons. He brings energy and a motor that never quits. So what you're looking at now is a committee approach to pass rushing off the edge. No more relying on one guy to carry the load. It's going to take everyone. If Nolan Smith makes that leap, if Hunt continues his rise, if Ojulari and Uche stay healthy, the Eagles might not just survive this transition. They might thrive, but we're not done. The interior defensive line also took a hit with the departure of Milton Williams. Big shoes to fill, literally and figuratively. But one name that could be ready to step into that spotlight is Moro Ojomo. His numbers from last year were quietly excellent. His Pro Football Focus grade came in at 68, good enough to land him in the top 20% of all defensive tackles. His pass rush grade was even more impressive, an 82.6, which was top 5 at his position. That's not just solid, that's elite production for a guy who didn't even see a starter's share of snaps. What makes those numbers pop even more is that he was 64th in total pass rush snaps among defensive tackles, yet still managed to finish 24th in hurries and 35th in total pressures. That tells you he was making the most of every single rep. His pass rush win rate, 18.2%, the highest on the entire Eagles defensive line. Yes, even better than Milton Williams, who got paid handsomely by the Patriots this offseason. Ojomo is flying under the radar now, but not for long. He's my top breakout candidate for 2025. And he's going to be a big reason why this defense doesn't fall off a cliff post Williams. And that's just the beginning of what's happening on this side of the ball. There's still a lot to unpack. New faces in the secondary, changes at linebacker, and some fierce competition at key spots. But one thing is for sure, the Eagles aren't standing still. They're evolving, adjusting, and reloading. Because when you're trying to defend the Super Bowl title, standing pat just isn't an option. The margin for error gets thinner, the target on your back gets bigger, and every team is coming for your crown. This version of the Eagles, they're not backing down. Let's keep rolling because the defensive rebuild in Philadelphia is far from over. If the trenches are the foundation, then the secondary is the front line of the air defense. And in 2025, it's going to look quite different. One of the biggest losses in this unit is veteran cornerback Darius Slay, who made a move across the state to join the Pittsburgh Steelers. Say what you will about his age or his contract, but losing a savvy ball-hawking presence like Slay is no small deal. He was a leader on and off the field, and his instincts, footwork, and experience were invaluable to a defense that struggled at times last season. Now the Eagles are entering a new era in the secondary, one that will be defined by youth, speed, and potential. Leading the charge is Quinyon Mitchell, the breakout rookie who has already been turning heads during organized team activities. The footage that dropped from OTA showed Mitchell going one-on-one with Saquon Barkley in coverage, and it was the kind of rep that made you sit up and take notice. Mitchell has all the tools, fluid hips, sticky coverage, top-end speed, and that dog mentality that Philly fans love. He's expected to be a starter right out of the gate, and if what we're seeing so far is any indication, he's ready to live up to the hype. Before we continue, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and give this video a like. Your support helps us keep delivering the latest updates on our Philadelphia Eagles. And don't be shy. Share your thoughts on the news in the comments below. In what could stir up significant conversation across the NFL landscape, rumors are beginning to circulate that Milton Williams may be harboring some regrets about his departure from the Philadelphia Eagles, though nothing has been confirmed. Officially, several sources close to the situation have hinted that the versatile defensive lineman has privately expressed feelings of nostalgia and second thoughts regarding his move. Williams, known for his explosiveness and reliability on the Eagles' defensive front, left the team under circumstances that at the time appeared to be motivated by a desire for a larger role and potentially more favorable contract terms. However, recent whispers suggest that the transition hasn't unfolded exactly as he had envisioned. Those familiar with the player's mindset allege that Williams has reflected on the strong camaraderie within the Eagles' locker room, the stability of the coaching staff, and the franchise's consistent playoff contention. All factors he may now be missing. While it is common for players to experience mixed emotions after a significant career shift, the buzz surrounding Williams is particularly intriguing given the Eagles' current trajectory as perennial Super Bowl contenders. Sources claim that Williams has confided in former teammates, indicating that the culture in Philadelphia was something special, difficult to replicate elsewhere in the league. Some insiders even go as far as to suggest that if the opportunity ever presented itself, Williams would be open to a potential reunion with the Eagles organization. Of course, this remains firmly in the realm of speculation, with neither Williams nor his representatives making any public statements to corroborate these reports. Still, in the high-stakes, ever-changing world of the NFL, where player movement and front office decisions are frequently dictated by both emotion and strategic calculations, such rumors tend to gain traction quickly. As the offseason unfolds and teams reevaluate their rosters, fans and analysts alike will be watching closely to see if there's any substance to the chatter surrounding Milton Williams. Could a homecoming to Philadelphia be on the horizon? For now, it remains just a murmur, but one that's impossible to ignore. That's it for this update. If you enjoyed the video and want to stay updated with exclusive news about our Philadelphia Eagles, be sure to subscribe to our channel and hit that like button. We can't wait to hear your thoughts in the comments. See you in the next video.